Full court pressure in spite of 21 turnovers and shooting 33%. They've got this thing to 10.
Remember, all the big comebacks in the NCAA tournament so far, including Duke's in the second round. UConn comes out of the timeout with Aaliyah Edwards back in the game.
You got to go with who you trust right now. If you're Coach Auriemma, you got to put her back in.
She'll play with 4 fouls.
And Duke can get 3 stops in a row here, 3 scores.
Beckers, short. Timeouts are going to be incredibly valuable for Connecticut here down the stretch. They have 3 starters that have played every minute tonight. Beckers gets a block underneath.
Kennedy Brown's just had a tough night around the rim. 1 for 8.
Okonawa. Off the bounce, leaves it off for Brown. Back to Alucci. Another missed layup for Duke. Nice play by Arnold to poke it free.
Well, they're going to rue all these missed layups. 7 for 16 on layups is Duke.
Approaching 3.5 to go for a spot in the Elite Eight and a date Monday night with Southern Cal, the #1 seed in this region.
UConn just runs false action, takes time off the clock. Then they get inside the shot clock with 3, and Duke gets a stop.
And then they turn it over.
Oh my goodness. 22 turnovers.
They have just missed every chance to try and get this thing down into a negotiable number.
I mean, I started off the game telling you that this was a team that averages more turnovers than assists. And when you look at the assist numbers,
6 of them.
They have 6.
Shot clock, blocked, violation.
Back-to-back stops, but you got to score. And you'd like to credit UConn's defense for most of the turnovers, but you really can't say that.
Some of them, sure, but Richardson spins in the lane. Tough shot, knocks it down.
They pick up full court.
8-point game. A 7-0 Duke run.
You got to give it to the Duke Blue Devils for hanging in there, right? And timeout, UConn. 8-point game. That's 3 possessions.
Two left for Connecticut.
It's been ugly, but it's been competitive.
Yes.
Richardson with a nice spin move right here.
Well, now if you're Gino, right, you're using your timeouts to set up an out-of-bounds play to get the ball into Paige Becker's hands to try and get a bucket here to stem the run.
I also think for fatigue reasons, I think he might need a timeout here.
The one that would be rested would be Edwards, who's been out for 12 minutes with foul trouble throughout the course of the first half and the second. Earlier tonight, we saw Juju Watkins drop 30 on Baylor in a hard-fought win, 74-70. So the Trojans are next for the winner of this game. Of course, all of America will be watching Iowa-LSU, the first game Monday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
I mean, it has not been easy for Duke. They've been hanging in there. It's been hard, but they're starting to handle it a little bit better here in the last couple of minutes. You got to put some game pressure on UConn.
Let's see what UConn drew up in the huddle.
You want to play good D here if you're Duke. You but you won't have fouls to give. You only have one team foul.
Arnold blocked, Duke's got it. The push, Richardson on the run. They swing it around for a Lucci three, and it's in.
Come on. Look at Duke. You gotta be kidding me.
Two-possession game, under 2 minutes to go. And a turnover.
Keep the ball in the middle of the floor. The Duke D with a block and then the push. And they make the extra pass. You gotta be kidding me.
We saw Oregon State knock off Notre Dame the other day. What, they have 25, 26 turnovers? Can Duke do the same? They got 22 turnovers today, and they're right there in it.
We need something going to the basket.
Richardson, pull up. Long rebound to Duke. And a turnover.
Duke has all 4 timeouts. They have not used any timeouts. You could have used one right there.
They might want to use one to make sure they get a good shot the next possession here if they can. Edwards, big two.
How about stepping up and making a shot? How about wanting the ball when the game's on the line?
They had missed 6 shots in a row prior to that. Gives them a little more space. Under a minute to go. Brown.
Timeout, Duke, before they get the ball inbounds. Kara Lawson wants to set her D.
Back to a 2-possession game.
You got to give it to the Duke kids, right? They're hanging in there. Edwards drives Kennedy Brown back. Takes a jumper from the nail. And then Kennedy Brown inside. Her second basket of the game.
Let's send it over to Angel.
I was just in that last Duke huddle, and that is a team that believes that they still have time to win this ball game. Kara Lawson looked at them and said, we got here because of our defense. Let's win it that way. We need stops and then go. Believe that you can do it. And you saw them in the last couple of possessions offensively. Can they continue to get stops on defense, though?
Well, the leadership of this experienced UConn backcourt of Beckers and Mule, can they stay composed here under pressure?
So Paige is inbounding it. She's probably going to get it right back.
Arnold,
That's
held
a
up,
jump
held ball, Duke ball.
Coach Auriemma cannot believe it. I mean, that's a good play by Duke.
He just said you're supposed to throw her the ball back, and
Yes.
they couldn't get it back to her. Jackson, back to Okonawa. Leaves it off for Donovan. Elevates, no good. Rebound Edwards, and a foul.
That's not a bad foul. Stops the clock, gives them a chance to set their D. Duke's not in the bonus. That's only the second team foul.
That's the 4th personal on Kennedy Brown.
UConn will call timeout to advance the ball. A 5-point game.
Crazy to think where we once were, with Connecticut leading by 20.
39-19.
39-19.
39-19.
And Duke has just hung around. They're outscoring Connecticut here in the 4th quarter, 18-8. So there's the situation with the timeouts, the fouls to give. UConn has the arrow as well as the basketball.
Well, I'm Duke. I'm telling the officials, I'm going for a hard trap and a steal. Do not anticipate that I want to foul immediately. I want to get a chance to make a play on the ball first. And if I'm UConn, I'm putting the ball in my best free throw shooter's hands, Paige Beckers.
Beckers will be the inbounder here.
You're going to pass it right back to her as soon as she steps in bounds.
Mule kicked.
This is where Duke has used their athleticism to get back in the game with their speed and their quickness. Same play, same set, running the same thing.
Mule's got to track it down in the backcourt.
See, now I would commit the foul because she's one-on-one.
Here comes the double, and there's a foul.
You turn her, and then you try to get the steal, and that's a good job by Duke. You turn her, and then you get the steal, and if it doesn't happen, you got a foul. And that's a risky play, throwing the ball in somebody's backcourt.
30 seconds to go. Still with fouls to give. Oh my goodness, another held ball, and Gino can't believe it that they're hanging on to it instead of passing it back to Paige. Now the arrow will flip to Duke.
You got to get the ball.
Rule fouled. That is the fourth. So the next one will get Connecticut to the line.
I think Duke has managed it pretty well, trying to make a play on the ball, right? Trying to get a steal, and they tied them up. Now they have the possession arrow. If you don't get a steal right away, you got a foul. You don't have enough time.
Right back to Beckers, and she's fouled.
Only 2 seconds went off the clock. But unfortunately for Duke, that's not who you want on the free throw line.
Even though she's missed a couple times tonight, statistically she's their best.
She missed 2 in a row in the first half.
84% on the season.
This one right here makes it, well, it's a 2-possession game anyway. Duke's gonna have to score twice. This makes it a 3-possession.
Paige Beckers, 23 points. And now it's 52-45. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance, and it is Beckers.
I mean, Beckers moving without the ball. You go underneath. She goes to the dribble handoff. She's going to make you pay. She's going to stick that triple. That's her second 3. And then watch this. Sets up the back door. Nika Mule dribbles right at her defender, and that's the indicator to go back door, which she does so nicely. Capital One, rewarding performance. We're going to give it to Paige Beckers, 23 points on 21 shots. Her 6th consecutive 20-point game, but she's had a lot of them this year, 25 of them before tonight.
Duke's got to hurry. Brown stripped away by Beckers. Duke will keep it here, 13 seconds to go.
You can get a quick 2 right here under the basket.
Jackson launches short. Beckers. And a foul. And that's going to be on Kennedy Brown, and that'll get Aaliyah Edwards to the free throw line with 6 seconds to go. And now the Husky fans are on their feet, sensing that they are headed back to the Elite Eight and a date with USC.
Usually I say in a physical contest it's a double ice bath game, but I think you and I are going to need a double ice bath after this one.
Double something. But it came down to a tight one at the finish, at least, after neither side could shoot it particularly well today. But you know what? For Connecticut, as it stands, put this one in the rearview mirror and get ready to face the Pac-12 champions.
You know, the most important thing Connecticut needs to do next is rest. More important than the reps.
Yep.
When you're short on numbers.
Beckers is going to close it out here with 24 points tonight for Connecticut. And the stage is set for an epic Monday night on ESPN in the Elite Eight. LSU and Angel Reese against Iowa and Caitlin Clark. The first game Monday night, and in the nightcap, Juju Watkins at USC against Paige Beckers at UConn.